Hi, I'm making this video for anyone that asks why I got fired, because I've told the story like 7,000 times and I'm really tired of telling it, and this is probably going to be like a shortened version because I've told like the story with like all the details and shit like so many times, and I'm really fucking done with it, and I'm really fucking done with Jobber right now, and I fucking love the company, but the way they're treating me is shit, and I got fucking scammed, and it's a fucking shit show. Okay, so here's the story, which is really fucking funny if you're not me. Okay, so on Sunday, August 19th, I was working with this guy Sam, who were both team members. So it goes like the levels of like superiority: team member, and then there's shift lead, which is like a manager, and then there's assistant general manager, and then there's general manager, and then there's district manager, which is like the heights of things. Okay, so it's me and another team member. And side note, the Webster Groves Jamba Juice is kind of a shit show, and so a lot of times I would be forced to work like from like 7:30 until like 10 alone. So like someone would come in at 10, but like so I'd have to open alone. So I like know the safe number, I know like all the shit, which is really not my responsibility as a team member, but like it was fine. I just did whatever because, you know, I need money and whatever. So okay, so someone calls and I pick up the phone and they're like, I need to speak to a manager, and I'm like, there's not one here right now, and they're like, that's fine, I need you to count the safe, and they said they're from corporate, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like, I don't think I should count the safe, like, I think you need someone that's higher up than me, and they're like, no, someone is stealing money in the company, and I need you to do this now, because there's going to be an audit in an hour, and I just need you to count the safe, and I'm like, okay, fucking dumbass me, so I go, I count the safe, and it's fine. So he's like, how much money is in the bank bag? And I'm like, this much. And how much money's in the tips? And this much. Excuse me. So he's like, you need to take all that out and like label it and all this stuff. So it's like long, like drawn out process of like half an hour. Basically all the money is in a stack, and he's like, okay, so now what I need you to do is like label that, and then I need you to go get a Schnucks bag and put the money in like 2 Schnucks bags together so it looks inconspicuous. And I'm like, fucking believe this guy. Because side note, it like had hung up, the phone was like kept dropping, so he's like, can you call me on your cell phone? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. So when I had called on my cell phone, he's like, this is the number, this is the extension. So when I called, it was like, this is Jamba Juice Corporate, put in your extension. So it seemed very legit, and it was this like older, like a dad type guy. He was like telling me about his wife. It like seemed very, like, I know I shouldn't have trusted him. Like literally everyone's like, you should have done that. I fucking know, shut up. But so then he's like, you need to go to your car and go to a CVS, and they stay on the phone with you the whole time. I did research about these types of like scams and stuff, and it's a very common thing. And they stay on the phone with you so you don't have a chance to like think about it. So like he continuously was talking, and he kept being like, I can tell you sound really nervous, but you're doing such a great job, like you're really helping the company, like we need to hurry because this audit is happening and someone's stealing and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay. So then so he's like, you need to take the bag, go to your car, tell the person that you're working with like that you have an emergency, and go to your car. And I'm like, okay. So I told the guy Sam we weren't busy, so I was like, okay. He's like, that's fine. And so he's like, drive to CVS. And so I drive to CVS with this big ass stack of money, like this thick, full of like, it had $1,000. And so he's like, okay, go to CVS and get 8 of these. I'm gonna look it up what this thing is called, but it was like, it's like a prepaid Visa, but it's not. It's called a, one second. Hi, I'm back. It's called a money pack. So, so it looks like, I can't turn the thing around, but it looks like this. So it looks like this type of thing. So it's like a prepaid Visa type thing, except for there's not like a card on it. It just has like money, this like money pack thing. And then on the other side, it looks like this. cool. So he's like, you need to buy 8 of those and put $100 on each. So I go to CVS. I have this big stack of cash that won't even, this is the size of my purse. It wouldn't even fit into my purse. And he's like, okay, get $100 on each. So I'm at CVS. This lady is hella suspicious. She's like, fucking, what the fuck? She's like, I hope you know what you're doing. I hope, like, you know, like, this is easily fraud. You know, who are you giving this to? Like, is this trustworthy? Like, she thought, like, I was running away or being trafficked or some shit. And I was like, this bitch thinks I'm, like, fucking getting conned. And she was right. So I, like, buy all these things, and then we realized there was money left, and so the guy's like, okay, get more. Oh, and this was all on the phone. I don't know if I said this. Someone thought that it was, like, in person. It was on the phone. And so I'm like, okay, I need another one. And she's like, no, I'm not selling you another one. Like, you're fucking sketchy, fucking 17-year-old bitch. Like, you're fucking crazy. And I'm like, makes sense. So I have to go to Walgreens, and at Walgreens, they don't have money pack. They have, like, prepaid visas. And so he's like, the guy's like, that's fine, go do that. And this whole time, he's like, you're doing so great. Like, you're helping the company. You're, like, saving the company, bitch. Like, go you. And I was like, they, like, play on your ego. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm, like, saving the company. He's like, you're gonna get a raise. You're gonna get, like, a bonus. You're getting all this stuff. You're gonna make shift lead. You're gonna, like, all this shit. And I'm like, fucking thank you, bitch. I deserve this. And, so then we go to Walgreens, I go to Walgreens, get this prepaid visa for 2 different ones for $100 each. And so then I get to the car, and he's like, so scratch off the thing and, like, give me all these numbers. So I give him all these numbers, give him the prepaid visa, blah, blah, blah. And then these money pack things are just, like, cardboard. So he's like, now what I want you to do is, I want you to rip them all up so people can't read the numbers. And I realize, I get it. I should have been like, that's sketchy. But you know what? I fucking didn't, because I'm a really trustworthy person. So if you ever want to steal from someone, fucking steal from me. But so I rip them up, and I put them in a plastic bag, and he's like, so throw them away. And so I did. And he's like, ripped up all these receipts, all these things. And then the 2 prepaid visas, he's like, when you get on the highway, throw them out the window. And I'm like, okay. So I'm, like, putting those aside me. And then I'm like, fuck, what do I do? Because I get off the phone and I'm like, shit, like, I just fucking, what did I just fucking do? And he's like, someone will call your boss soon, and hangs up. And so I get back to the store, and I'm like, holy shit. So I'm in the parking lot at the Webster Groves Schnucks Jamba Juice, and I call my mom, and my mom's like, if this is corporate, that's not okay, and it's not, like, they can't do that, and if it's not, like, bitch, you got scammed. And I'm like, okay, I think I got scammed. And so I call our assistant general manager who, like, runs the store. I call her twice. She doesn't pick up. I call the general manager twice. She doesn't pick up. I call the assistant general manager at the Jamba Juice at the mall twice. She doesn't answer. I called just a general, like, shift lead manager person who I, like, trust a lot. She didn't answer. No one answered. And then our general manager, I get back in, and the guy I'm working with is like, yeah, that was a total scam. And I'm like, but it could be an audit coming. And he's like, no, that's a fucking scam. And so then I fucking get, eventually the general manager, her name's Ellen, she's so sweet, I love her, calls me, and she's like, hey, what's up? And I told her everything, and she's like, yeah, that was a scam. And so then our district manager comes, and he also runs, like, a wings restaurant, and he's like, yeah, that's a scam, that's, like, a really common scam. So common, in fact, that I have a friend who works somewhere else that's, like, a restaurant, and at their restaurant, they have a sign that says, if you get a call from corporate, immediately get a manager. If there's no manager present, hang up. Like, that's how common this scam is. Because they say, oh, we're from corporate, there's an audit, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, this is really common, whatever. And I'm told by both of these people that I'm not going to get fired. And so he's like, what happened, blah, blah, blah. And so then I have to go back to the Walgreens, get the bag full of ripped up stuff out of the trash, get it, and then come back to the store, and I start, like, taping these things back together, taping the receipts back together, taping back. Oh, and I also didn't throw those visas out on the highway, because I was like, not fucking doing that. That's the thing I drew the line at. But then they had the police come, and I had to talk to them, and it was just, like, a really rough day. But then, a couple days later on, wait, let me see dates here. I believe Wednesday the 22nd, maybe, yes. Yeah, Wednesday the 22nd. I get a, text from the district manager, Blake, and he's like, I need you to call me. So I call him, like, in between classes, and he basically tells me I'm getting fired. And I'm like, fuck, okay. And so he's like, don't even come to your shift tonight. Like, just, you're fired. And I'm like, okay. And so this girl, Sydney, I was covering her shift. And so he's like, Sydney can work and whatever. And I'm like, okay. So then he fucking goes and he tells this girl, Sydney, he texts her, he's like, I need you to work tonight. And she's like, Tess covering my shift. And he's like, oh, well, Tess didn't get that approved with management. So since she didn't do that, she can't cover your shift. He fucking threw me under the bus again. The fuck. And I was literally so angry. I'm so fucking angry. So she's like, I have screenshots of Tess texting, like, our boss, like, saying, can we cover the shift? And he's like, okay, I didn't want to tell you over text, but she got fired. Okay. And, so that happens, and so I haven't worked. And then I get texts from people coming in from, like, all my different friends, all the different managers, and everyone being like, you shouldn't have gotten fired, blah, blah, blah. Because, like, legitimately, like, it was my fault, but that's such a common scam that, like, I should have been warned, and I shouldn't have had access to the safe. I think if there would have been a manager present, like, there's always supposed to be a manager, and I should not have had access to the safe, and none of that would have happened. But, basically then, I guess they got the money back, I believe. But then, so he texts me, Blake, that guy, texts me yesterday, and he's like, I need you to come get your last paycheck today. And I'm like, sorry, bitch, I have a life. So he's like, can you come tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah. So I come in, and my general manager, Ellen, she had texted me, she's like, I babysit her kids, like, she trusts me. And she's like, I don't think you should have gotten fired, I think this is BS, blah, blah, blah. And so then I get there, and she's like, Blake's in the back, I just told him I wouldn't sign your write-up, so I have to get, like, written up to be fired. And she's like, I told him I wouldn't sign it because I don't believe you should be fired. And I'm like, fuck. And so I thought maybe I wouldn't get fired, but plot twist, I did. And so he comes and he's, like, trying to be all nice and like, oh, how's school? And I'm like, fucking just give me my fucking money, bitch. So he gives me this envelope with, like, all these papers in it. Basically, I get, where's the fucking card? I don't know where it is, but it's a fucking, like, prepaid fucking card thing that's not here right now. Just like a MasterCard that says, like, Rapid Cash or some dumb shit on it. It's not here. I don't know. Well, that's not even an issue that it's not here, because I spend, like, half an hour registering it, doing all this shit, like, trying to, like, figure out how to, like, access it. It's like a weird fucking card thing and stuff. And then what do I see when I'm fucking logged in and all fucking registered and stuff? Oh. I'm trying to get to fucking load. Whatever. You can't see right now. It looks like that. Okay, literally, there's no fucking money on it. I got no money. So I don't even know what the situation is. I'm really frustrated right now. This, like, fucking, I don't know, it's just fucking, the card is empty. It's a blank fucking piece of plastic. And so I texted him, and I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, I got fired for, I mean, it's a reason, but, like, they got the money back. Like, it's no fucking reason. And I'm, like, I'm a really responsible worker, too. I always cover everyone's shifts. I'm, like, really, I don't know. This dude just came in and acts like he runs the place. But yeah, so that's my story. So, yeah, thanks, bye.